Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to everyone. Welcome to the K Plus Podcast, Episode 3, EP3. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Right now, we're looking at 24 subscribers right now on the YouTube channel. And really and truly, like by the end of the year, I want to have over 100 subs. I don't know if that's like too low or go too high of a goal, but by the end of the year, I want over 100 subs. So please tell a friend to tell a friend, who then therefore will tell another friend to comment and subscribe to the channel. Let me get to over 100 subs. That's the goal. By the end of 2024, we're going to be over 100 subs. Let's get to that goal. How y'all doing today? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a blessed day. Day been good so far. Got some stuff done. And we're going to record this episode 3 for you guys, man. Remember, we got Spotify as well. The podcast is on Spotify as well. The link is in the bio of my YouTube channel. So if you want to listen to it on your way to work, on your way to wherever, you can do it like that through Spotify, or you can watch the lovely YouTube video as well. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to get episode 3 underway today. And today we're going to discuss, the transition for me from living on the islands to moving to the mainland. Now, low-key, I should have done this for episode 2, but I didn't have the idea till like a couple days ago. Like I didn't have the idea. I feel like it's not the same as episode 1. Episode 1 was more about the differences between things you'll experience living on the island as opposed to on the mainland. But now this is more about the transition for me, and some tips for people as well who wants to like transition over, from my experience. So I low-key should have make this episode 2, but it's already done, so it's quite fine. So it's not the same as episode 1, just a little. It can there's points you could pull from it, but we're gonna get this on the way, transitioning from the islands to the mainland. So I'm gonna just start off with just a little story. There was a time I was driving and my car was giving issues. My baby Desiree, her name was Desiree, 2007 Ford Focus. Bad car, tough car, strong car, and unfortunately, let me not touch that, no, I messed it up. Unfortunately, she was having it was, at the time I didn't know, but it was alternator issues, alternator gone bad. So I did it driving down the road, and then lights start flickering. I said, wow, got out right on a turning lane. So I was like, dang, my car break down. And I stuck in the turning lane. It's on a busy road too in the middle of the day. So I'm like, man, I might have to call a tow. How am I going to get over? And then while sitting there, some guy drove past me. And he watched me and he's like, you need a hand? I'm like, yeah. And I was kind of shocked because he went out his way in kind of great lengths to help me out. Like the guy, he stopped, he was going straight and I was making a turn. He came over and parked all the way in the Publix. Walk out the Publix, walk all the way across the street to help me push my car in the Publix parking lot. So and the thing is, he did most of the work. Like I was in the car, steering, and he was one pushing. And I was like, wow, like I didn't expect that. And the man, he had his cat, the man leave, he cat in his car to come help me out, to come help your boy out. The check was, and I was like, wow, that's a blessing right there. And I really appreciated that. I think his name was Ethan or Ezekiel. Big up yourself. I appreciate it wholly. I never forgot that. I never forgot that he did not have to help me out in such manner. Like he really went out his way to give your boy a hand. And I started to have to say this because, usually some of the older folks back home, not all, but some would mention like, up in America, in the States, is more of a like, every man kind of fend for themselves, everybody like kind of like mind their own business and so on and so forth. some have mentioned dog eat dog world to a degree, and I understand that, but experiencing that shows that it's not all like that. You check what I'm saying. Everybody up here, is not like that. There's good and bad people everywhere. You check what I'm saying, but I've been not really taught the notion, but I've heard it a lot that everybody kind of like mind their business, everybody just go about their own way. But that man stopped to help me. He went out his way to help me. He didn't have to do it. He did not have to do it. Some random guy, my boy Ethan, come and help me out. I never forget that. And it's funny because months later, I kind of saw the same thing again. I was driving down the road, and there was this guy. He was trying to like pull and like push his car inside of a McDonald's parking lot. There was some dude in a van. He is in the middle of the road of his van, in the turning lane. So this man parked his van in the middle of the road, open the door, leave his van, car running, his car is wide open, leave his van to come help the next guy push his vehicle in the McDonald's parking lot. Left his car in the road, hazards on, door wide open, car running. Anybody could have stolen that. Anybody could have just taken the van. But he did that to help an ex-man there. Them is stuff I like to see. Them is stuff that just make me, this still good in this world, man. Them is good things, and I see it and it's like, wow. People, it gets some good people out there, man. But I just wanted to say that story because, I've been, I've heard that, and, I understand there's a lot of people up here. A lot of times people just kind of like, mind their own business, not really study nobody, just go on their own way. But experiencing those two things was like, kind of like gave me a different perspective. And it's like, people may say something about something or someone, but like when you're really gonna see it for yourself, that's when you can make the best, your best judgment on that. And that's just, I just wanted to preface that story by saying that I love Desiree. I sold Desiree, by the way. I sold her and got an upgrade, which got totaled, and I got another car. But yeah, I love Desiree. Strong car. Ford Focus. Big up the Ford Focus. So I just wanted to start off with that story, Just wanted to start off with that. It really touched my heart. It really touched my heart, and I appreciate my boy Ethan. What was he driving? He was driving some white car. Was it? I think it was some sedan. It was some sedan. But anywho, let's get on with it. So one thing that I've been living up here for approximately 2 years plus, and I've vacationed here before multiple times. But then you experience it a little different when you actually start to live here. So now, I came up here July 8th, 2022. I made the big move already. And the reason why I left the islands is just I have no beef with the islands. I love my home. I love where I come from. I get homesick. I do get homesick. I got to go and just re-up every year, try to go back home and vibe, but I wanted to experience something different. There's only so much you can do and experience on the island. I just wanted to like kind of like get out and just not really see the world, but just experience different. I always wanted to live in the States. So I moved up here, I stayed with family. I have family up here that allow me to stay with them, and grateful to them as well. I didn't rely on them now. I went on they had me a place to stay. I wanted to make my own money and so forth, and I went from there. But, one thing I really had to get accustomed to living up here is driving. Starting off for me, learning to like drive up here, it was kind of difficult. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a little intimidating to me because back home, the highway, I get probably most is two lanes going up, 2 lanes going down. Up here is 16. It's like 16, 18,000. It's not that much lanes, but probably like 4, 5, 6 lanes. Especially driving in the interstate, it was intimidating for me. A little intimidating because I'm driving so fast and it gets so much lanes and this and that, and you have to like try to decipher which one you have to be in. And I rely heavily on the GPS. I'm a big user of Waze. I love Waze. And like I be driving on interstates and like exiting to me was difficult for the first couple tries. I mean, I driving and it's like I look at what I fail to do is look at the exit number. a lot of times, I had to focus on the exit number to try to get where I needed to go. So I really had to lock in on that and so forth. Really had to lock in on the exit number. Give me a yeah, forgive me, please. Yeah, forgive me. Oh, I gained some. Actually, we're gonna just ignore that. Anyway, so really focus on the exit number. But what I used to do is I used to look at the little arrow that used to be moving as you're driving on the little GPS thing. I missed a lot of exits and I took a lot of early exits because it's kind of like I was, kind of scared to miss an exit, but then in turn I took an early exit by mistake. I did that a couple of times. The other time I got lost driving, I had to go take a drug test. And I got lost trying to find it because you got the U-turn here and all this stuff. It was intimidating. It was a little rough for me. But I got used to it now as a pro now. Now I don't need GPS to go certain place. I could just get up and go. I know where I'm going. And, I kind of learned to learn the street name, know which street to go and so forth. So I don't really need GPS like that unless I'm going somewhere new or somewhere I've never really been before. But that was a big adjustment to me. I mean, living on an island is only so long I'm going to take. I used to think like driving to West was far. I think like from where I used to live, going west, I used to think that was far, guys, back home. I look back now and it's like, dude, to me that's nothing now. That is literally nothing. And when I came up here, I did not like driving far distances. I literally that was just a thing of mine. I didn't really like to drive far. I just if there's a store, if there's a Walmart here, I'm going to the closest Walmart. Despite of anything, I just did not like to drive long distances like that. Now, I drive. I drive in now. Like that don't bother me now. I got hour and a half. Let me go. A little 45. Let me go. I gone. I drive in now. So no problem. I'm more open to drive longer distances and so forth. But at first it was like, I got to drive. I carpooling. You could drive, not me. Who? Where? Go where? Go where? No, stop. I ain't driving all over. I'm carpooling. But the more you do it, the more accustomed I have gotten to it and so forth. So yeah, driving and adjusting to the driving was a big adjustment for me as I transitioned up here. It was a very, very, very big adjustment for me. Another thing I had to really transition and get accustomed to is, and everyone should, kind of learn this, getting acclimated to the weather in your area. The weather up here is very weird in Florida. Florida weather is real. It's a different type of weather. You cannot predict weather up here. I don't care what the weatherman tell you. The weatherman don't even know what's gonna happen. The weatherman don't even know what's gonna happen. It's like I have seen, and I haven't really seen this back home. Florida's where I've really seen where it's like literally thunderstorming while you're driving, and you pass a stoplight and it just stop. Like it ain't like the rain, like raining hard, and as you're going away, it starts to rain a little slower and soft, and it turn to a drizzle, then it go on. It's like thunderstorm, done. That's it. That is it. Like it just stops, and I'm like, what? It could be pouring over here, blazing sun over there, and it's like, what's going on? And it's like, dude, summertime is rainy season. It will rain. Like it rains every day. Like it just rains. Rain. Just rain. Just pure rain. You got rain. Absolute rain. It rains so much. Rain. That's all I gotta say. Summertime is just absolute pure rain. Weatherman tell you, thunderstorms in the afternoon, dry weather in the day. All right, I set my plans in accordance to that. The day come, thunderstorms in the day, dry weather in the afternoon. It's like, what the heck? How I going? What you guys telling me? It's like whatever happens, whatever they predict is gonna happen, the opposite happens. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with the weather here. I really can't. And hey, it gets cold. It gets a little cold here in the winter too. One of these past Christmases, let me tell you something. Me ain't gonna lie. Them type of cold, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But you have to get accustomed to the weather in the area where you live in. Try to understand like how the weather is, because sometimes it may not be like a hurricane that pass by, but when a thunderstorm, you got to take thunderstorms a little serious, because you driving and the visibility gets very low. There's a lot of rain, flooding can occur, and me and lie, in Florida, when it starts to rain, people's ability to drive drops from here all the way down. The ability to drive people just disappears, just gone. But I had to get accustomed to the weather up here, and it's a little different. It is very unpredictable. But something I gotta live with. Something I do have to live with. I do like it up here though, but the weather is something you have to kind of like get accustomed to. And so yeah, understand the type of weather. Like if you're wanting to move to a certain city, understanding the type of weather that is going to be involved in the place that which you are going to, and so forth. So yeah, like I mentioned before, July 8th I came up here. I settled in. Had to get my driver's license and ID, get certain banks and so forth. And another thing, of course, things up here is going to be a little bit more advanced, a little bit more faster. Everything you could do online. Everything could be. You ain't got to go nowhere almost. You could do everything online. I think the banking process up here is very much more, I would say, modern and more efficient than back home. It's easier to like transfer and do certain stuff and so forth. But like I mentioned before, up here we all know it's going to be a little bit more advanced and thing. Once again, I'm coming back to Amazon. Once again, I love Amazon. Them man good and so forth. I wanted to work for Amazon actually. I think I considered working for Amazon because them man. I'm gonna get some good OT. As far as I heard, I'm gonna get some real good OT over time. You can make some real money. So I got my license. Getting a job, I would say, wasn't difficult. It wasn't difficult. I did my first job. I worked at Chipotle. Yeah, man. I was a grilled cook in Chipotle. I used to be flipping them chicken and so forth. Used to be, cutting up the steak and the chicken. Yeah, man. I was a grilled cook in Chipotle for like what, 2 months? For like 2 months, yeah. Then I got my official like first, I wouldn't want to say real job, but like full time work type of vibes there. And hey, since I come up here, I've been a night shifter. I am a vampire, guys. I'm struggling to stay up right now. It's afternoon now, so. But since I moved up here, I have been working night shift. Night shift. Night shift is literally all I know. It's weird. It's weird. It's literally weird. But I've been working night shift since I've been up here. I came up here, stack some money, and I, got my own place. And as a matter of fact, let's segue into that. I also want to give, let me make sure my mic good. I also want to give, some tips for people who wants to move out of the, the Caribbean islands and so forth into the mainland. I'm going to speak predominantly for the US, whether it's Canada or wherever. I can't really speak for them, but I think the relativeness can be the same. So, one thing you want to do when you want to move to when you want to move out the Caribbean to the States or wherever, research the area you're going to. Know the area. What's the job market looking like in the area? What's the job market looking like? What's the housing situation? How much rent costing? Rent expensive, rent regular, rent low, Where's the areas you could afford to live in? You check what I'm saying. All this stuff you want to do, because you don't want to go up there kind of like blindsided. You want to understand to a degree the city you're going to. Let's say you want to go, let me give a city here. Let's say you want to go, let's say ATL. You want to go Atlanta. What's the job market in Atlanta? Especially for the fields you want to get in. You check what I'm saying. And I would say also one thing, if you, before you leave, start applying to jobs. And hey, don't just apply to jobs that, let's say, don't just apply to jobs. How can I say this? Don't just apply for the jobs you want. apply for the other little jobs as well. I don't want to say little. I don't want to like kind of minimize these jobs, but apply to Walmart, apply to Target and whatever. Just in case, because sometimes it takes a little longer to get the full time work you're looking for. Sometimes it takes a little longer to get that. So you may want a little side job just to keep you over until you get the job you're looking for and so forth. Once again, look at the job market of the area you're going to. If you are a psychology major, so forth, understand the job market you are getting in. Also, we're going to be talking about that's going to be another episode soon. Just stay tuned for that. Life after college, we're going to talk about that. And so just understand the job market you're getting into. How much rent costs? Is it 1,500? The average right now in my area, they say 22. And I guess some bougie areas in the place, but housing is high and so forth. Housing is high. So research the area you want to go to. That's one of the biggest things I want to tell you all. Another tip, of course, stack some money. Do not come up here. Do not come America with no money in your pocket. You can, and not knocking you. If you can't get the bread, I understand. But I would advise, try to save as much money as you can before coming up here. You want to make sure you get some bread in your pocket. So in case of have a little emergency fund, a little $1,000 emergency fund just in case I have your regular checkers and savings. Because, in my case, I was able to come up here and live with family. Not everybody's going to have that blessing or opportunity to do so. You may have to come up here and move straight into an apartment. Okay, how much the apartment costs? You check what I'm saying. And then, it may not get a job right away. You may not get the job you want right away. So you want to have someone who's kind of like a cushion to try to help you go through the transition phase, because you got a lot of stuff to do. You got to get a house, apartment, you got to get a car. You could Uber, but after a while, Ubering back and forth gets a little expensive. So you want a car. I would advise just buy a used car, a quality used car to hold you over until you could get, a higher level of car and so forth. But do what you gotta do. You guys are grown. You guys can do what you feel is best. But stack some money. I came up and I did stay with family, but I didn't rely on them for money. I went on there and make my own money. One thing I tell you, there is work up here. That's my opinion. There is work up here. You can't not get a job. I know what the market says, and I not knocking what they're saying, but to me, it's it get work. There's work up here. It may not always be the most, but there is work. Walmart is hiring, always hiring. Walmart is almost never not hiring. Walmart not hiring. You need a job to get you by, do something. I never work at Walmart, but I'm just saying. It get work up here, so you could make some money, but stack some money before you make that move. How much depends on, I guess, where you're going. Stack a couple thousand, maybe 5 to 10K, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10,000. You want a good cushion. You want a good cushion when coming up here. You don't want to come up here with no money, because I don't want you guys playing the catch-up game and having to I don't want, getting into debt to try to keep up. I don't want that. We're trying to be debt-free as possible. So, stay with moms, stay with pops, grandparents, whoever, back home. Stack your money, save as best as you can. Also, enjoy your life. It's okay. Money is a tool. You can spend your money, you can enjoy yourself a bit, but try to understand, if you have certain goals you want to work towards, understand that, certain sacrifices have to be made. But try to save some money. Another tip, more of the final tip I would say is, have a plan of action. Plan of action really entails just, what you go in there, what you want to do when you get there, where you want to go. Maybe try to make a little backup plan and so forth. Okay, you want to move to Chicago, all right. Just all the stuff I mentioned can be included in the plan of action. Okay, you want to move to Chicago. What's the job market like in Chicago? How much the rent costs in Chicago? Okay, I'm going to save this amount. I'm going to save this amount of money. Right? I see these apartments. The crime ain't too bad, and the rent is a solid price. So I'm going to try to apply for here. If this don't work out, I'm going to have these other backup options just in case to rent. Okay, this is the job I want. And these are the other two options. I'm gonna look at these, and then also I'm gonna apply to some smaller jobs just in case I need to get by. Jobs that may hire quicker, maybe a Starbucks, maybe a Dunkin' Donuts, a Wendy's, a Chick-fil-A, something like that. Have a plan of action. A plan of action can go a long way, And sometimes people come up here and they gotta go back home because of sometimes it's rough. It's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's not easy sometimes transitioning, and sometimes it's different. It's not the same as home. Home is like you have more of a community to rely on. Sometimes up here is like not you by yourself. Some people just by themselves. They come up here and try and talk it up, but it don't work. But I ain't knocking nobody. I ain't not knocking nobody. If you come up here and they ain't working out, go back home if you have to. No shame at all. Life done hard. Life already hard. Don't make it harder. You got to go back home. You got to go back home. You could come back home, reevaluate, and come back. You know what I'm saying? But have a plan of action. Plan as best you can. And sometimes you can plan all you want and things don't work out your way. That's life, unfortunately. But just try the best you can, and go from there. So have a plan of action is very important. I would say I had a plan of action to a degree. Really and truly, my plan of action, all right. These man say I could stay with him. Okay. I going to come up here. I going to work. Yeah, make money. Make the bread. That's really that's really it. Make the money. Because man have goals and so forth. Make the money. I after a certain while I moved out. I had my own now. I would say I moved out after like a year and 6 months, about that time frame. I could have left earlier, but I didn't just want to move right when I was able to. I wanted a little extra. You check what I'm saying? So I stay a little longer, I save a little bit more to get a nice cushion and so forth. So I save a little more. So I didn't want to just have enough. I want excess. You know what I'm saying? So I did that, and I now live on my own now. Very grateful. Thank you, Jesus. I worked very hard for this. Very, very. I did a lot of overtime. I did a good bit of overtime. And, I don't feel burnt out. Some days were long, but I just kept on pushing. You're young. You're strong. But don't burn yourself out. Take a break. Relax. You don't have to kill yourself at work 24/7. Not everybody can do that. But take a break. Take a relax. Just take some time for yourself sometime. Don't just work, kill yourself. No. We need a break. It's okay. Just vibe. Take some time to just vibe. You understand what I'm saying? But have a plan of action. You know what I'm saying? I do like it up here. I really do. Would I ever move back home? Maybe one day. But for right now, I do like it up here. It's different. It's something I wanted to experience, and I am liking it. So I have no complaints in my regard. But I'm going to go over the tips. Research the area you're going to. Stack some bread. Make that money. Make that money wherever back home, Cashless, Plaza, Pebble, wherever. Make that money. Stack that money. Save it. Spend a little. Treat yourself every now and again, of course. But save it, bread. You check? So you have a little cushion for when you come up here now, you can make certain moves. And you have, a little cushion in case something happens, because things don't always go to plan. Things do not always go to plan. So save a little extra money, and it can really go a long way. And have a plan of action. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? What jobs you're going to apply for? What cars you're looking? All of that. Get accustomed to the weather. Sometimes, hey, Google Maps, Google Street View. You could look at that and just go around the place to see where things is at. I did that a lot. That's how I learned the area so well. At work, I literally just look at maps. Especially in the first full-time job I had up here, I just look at maps all day. Google Maps, just look at maps. Just going around the place, just learning it. You check what I'm saying. So yes, research, stack some money, have a plan of action, and that is the end of my tips right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode. It's kind of like a personal experience to a degree, but I really do hope that some of the stuff that I have said here can really provide some benefit to those who wanted to, move out the island and come up to the States, wherever. You don't have to be the States, it could be a different country. It could be Canada, wherever, UK. But I really hope it provides I really hope I gave some good advice here today. I really hope that someone can take this and really apply it. And I really hope, we all succeed. I want everybody to do well. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to the channel. You watch it, leave a like. Whatever you do, I appreciate it. The goal is 100 subscribers, but then no, the goal is over 100 subscribers by the end of the year. That's the goal. That's what I'm shooting for. Right now we're at about 24 subscribers, trying to get over 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Please, let's reach that goal. I'm gonna need y'all help. I'm gonna need y'all help to reach this goal. Whatever you do, I appreciate it. I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more content. I'm out. Peace. Have a blessed day, guys. Yes, sir.